Hello, and welcome to the Deep Tomb of Horror. My name is Mike, and today I'm going to do something that's never been done before. Okay, I'm bullshitting you. I'm just going to be doing my personal top 10 favorite list. I'm not going to be doing long-winded reviews because a lot of you have already seen these movies and probably enjoy them yourselves. I'm just simply doing this as a way for you to get a baseline of what type of movies I like. And hopefully that will help you become subscribers who liked hearing my voice and sometimes witty humor and are going to hit that subscribe button because I think really the only people that have subscribed to my channel right now are probably just friends and family. I'd actually like to have some strangers become fans. Today we're counting down from 10 to 1. And the reason why we're starting at 10 and not number 1 is because I want to make sure that you stay with me. Because I have heard that YouTubers have short attention spans. I'm not saying that everyone does, but that's what I've heard. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Kicking off the list at number 10 is John Carpenter's cosmic horror masterpiece, In the Mouth of Madness, the capstone to his Apocalypse trilogy alongside The Thing and Prince of Darkness. I didn't even know that these were part of the trilogy until I started looking up details so I could refresh my memory. Yes, I am getting older, and my memory's not as good as it used to be. Sam Neill, he plays a cynical insurance investigator hired to track down Stutter Kane, a horror novelist whose books literally drive readers insane. You might want to think Silent Hill, years before the video game existed. Fog-choked street, broken reality, and a full-blown descent into existential hell. It shifts from a detective mystery into pure Lovecraftian dread, proving that your worst nightmare isn't just a monster. It's realizing your entire reality was written by someone else. Event Horizon is The Shining meets Clive Barker's Hellraiser, directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. This 1997 cult classic follows a rescue crew investigating a gravity drive ship that vanished near Neptune 7 years prior. When they board the floating graveyard, they learn the experimental drive didn't just fold space, it ripped a hole straight into a dimension of pure evil. And the ship came back alive. It's gothic ghost ship, horror mixed with industrial sci-fi gore and relentless psychological dread. If you love the Dead Space franchise, this is the undisputed father of that nightmare. At number 8, we have 2020's Host. It was directed by Rob Savage and runs a lean 56 minutes. Host is a masterclass in the modern found footage. Shot entirely during lockdown, 6 friends run a virtual seance over Zoom to kill time until someone lies to mess around and accidentally invites a demonic entity into the call. It weaponizes the exact vulnerability of sitting in a quiet room, staring at a webcam, no filler, just mounting panic. Genius use of background loops and filters, and real claustrophobia. Host took screen life horror and made it genuinely terrifying again. At number 7, we have 2013's The Conjuring. Before it became a massive cinematic universe, James Wan's The Conjuring was just a flawless atmospheric piece of nightmare fuel. Following real-life paranormal investigators Ed and Lorraine Warren, they help a family plagued by a witch's curse in 1971 Rhode Island. This film saved the modern haunted house subgenre. One builds dread through lone takes, creeping silence, and iconic setups. Like the hide and clap game, it's terrifying, but it also has heart, making you actually care about the family before throwing you into a basement exorcism climax. At number 6, we have The Grudge, Takeshi Shimizu's American remake of his own Japanese classic Ju-On, which by the way was a fantastic movie as well. The Grudge defined early 2000s J-horror. Sarah Michelle Gellar plays a social worker in Tokyo who encounters a house strained by a violent murder, a rage so deep it creates a supernatural virus that infects anyone who steps inside. What makes The Grudge terrifying is its total lack of mercy. There's no ritual or exorcism to save you. Once you're marked, it follows you everywhere. Backed by Toshio's Meow and Kayako's unforgettable death rattle, it strips away your safety net and attacks where you feel safest. At number 5, we have Hokum. Damien McCarthy is one of the most exciting directors working today, and Hokum traps his skin-crawling tension inside a rotting, isolated hotel. Adam Scott stars as a bitter writer, traveling to scatter his parents' ashes, only to get caught in the web of an Irish folklore legend, the Cailleach. I'm not for sure if I pronounced that right, but just bear with me. Let's go with Cailleach. McCarthy turns everyday noises, rattling dumbwaiter, a creaky floorboard, a brass bell into pure instruments of anxiety. Scott delivers a grounded performance as a skeptic unraveling in a house built like a giant hungry trap. If you love Irish folklore and claustrophobic atmosphere, this is mandatory viewing. At number 4, we have a movie that needs really no introduction because if you haven't seen it, you're most likely not a true horror fan. But of course, if you haven't guessed, then the movie I'm talking about is Evil Dead 2, which came out in 1987. Sam Raimi's Evil Dead 2 is a gonzo high-octane masterpiece of splatterstick cinema. Ash Williams, who was played masterfully by Bruce Campbell, which, by the way, you can see he's on my shirt right here. I mean, that's how much I like this movie. Ash Williams takes his girlfriend to a secluded cabin, plays an audio tape of the Necronomicon incantations, and spends the night battling deadites and his own sanity. Raimi sweeps the camera through the trees like a missile, blending slapstick cartoon physics with brutal gore. Watching Bruce Campbell evolve from a panicked victim into a chainsaw-wielding badass is pure adrenaline. It's hilarious, gross, and completely unmatched to this very day. And you know how I know that? Because there is no other horror comedy movie on this list. It's just this one, and that's the reason why I can tell you that it's the best. At number 3, we have not only one of my favorite horror movies of all time, but also my number 1 favorite found footage horror movie, and that is 1999's Blair Witch Project. Before found footage became a trope, the Blair Witch Project convinced audiences that they were watching real footage of 3 students lost in the Maryland woods. Made on a very, very shoestring budget, it relies entirely on what you don't see. No CGI, no rubber suits, just footsteps outside the tent, stick figures hanging from trees, and 3 people slowly losing their minds as the forest turns into a prison. That crying selfie angle and the haunting final shot in the basement remain absolute masterclasses in minimalist horror. Number 2, It Follows from 2014. David Robert Mitchell threw out the traditional slasher playbook with It Follows. Jay, who's played by Maika Monroe, contracts a supernatural curse through a date, a shape-shifting entity that walks straight towards her at slow, constant pace until it kills her. Unless, of course, she passes it to someone else. The genius is in the framing, long, wide panning shots, force you to scan every corner of the screen, asking, is that random person walking toward the camera the monster? Combined with Disaster Piece's pulsing synth score, it creates an unforgettable, dread-inducing metaphor for morality. And finally, my number 1 favorite horror movie of all time is 2024's Oddity. Taking the top spot is Damien McCarthy's 2024 masterpiece, and also, might I mention, it is the second movie on this list. That's how good this director is. So stop what you're doing and go watch his movies. The first one is Caveat, which was good, but not top 10 list good, but definitely in the top 20. Oddity is following a brutal murder in a remote Irish house. A blind medium uses cursed objects and a terrifying wooden mannequin to uncover the truth and extract revenge. Oddity escapes using cheap CGI. Instead, it uses agonizing stillness, practical props, and pitch-perfect sound design. Every shadow in the stone house feels lethal, and the script plays out like a razor-sharp puzzle box, from the nerve-shredding opening to the unforgettable final frame. Oddity is an uncompromising, bone-chilling classic, and my clear number 1. That's my list. 10 movies that deliver real dread, from cosmic space nightmares to folk horror legends. Subscribe to Deep Tomb of Horror, hit the bell icon so you never miss a review, and let me know in the comments which of these kept you up at night. And also, let me know which movies you disagree with being on my list, and let me know what movies that you think should be on this list. Until next time, you can put your lanterns out. You have safely exited the Deep Tomb of Horror.